What does it mean if I get a tooth?
This is Dead of Winter by Plaid Games. It's a 2 to 5 player game, and it's a Crossroads game, which I imagine there'll be a series of them where they have Crossroads cards. We'll tell you more about later. It's by Isaac Vega and John Gilmore. And in this game, it's in the winter, and there's lots of zombies, and all of you are survivors in this building where you have to go out of the building to search for things and, for survival equipment, materials, and food so that you can survive, and it's really cold, so you might get frostbite or something, and then you just don't know if you can trust people or not, and you might find other people that you bring back, and then you have to fight zombies, and you just have to survive, but you just don't know who you can trust. You shouldn't trust anybody.
And Carl's right about one thing. In this game, you don't want to trust anybody, because everybody's playing a few different of these characters, and they all have different abilities that they can do, but more importantly, everybody has a secret objective. So while you are all trying to complete a main quest, and you're all trying to complete whatever the crisis is for that round, maybe you need to get fuel, maybe you need to get food, maybe you need to get medicine, you all have something secret. Like, maybe you only win the game if you have at least 2 books in your hand, or maybe you only win the game if at least 3 survivors were removed from the game, or maybe you only win the game if morale is at 0, which means everyone else just lost the game, and in this case, you're the betrayer. See, every game, when you have these 5 players, you pass out cards, and in those cards, one person could or could not be the betrayer, and they might try to go against you. So while everyone's putting in fuel to help with the crisis, they might put in something random like food. And that food doesn't only just not give you a point, no, it subtracts a point. This is also a game where people can die, characters can die left and right in an instant. Everything can be going fine, and then it's the last round of the game, and you're about to win, and then everyone starts dying, and morale starts going down. You can also vote people off. That means that if you think someone is betraying you, you can vote amongst the players to exile them. And then, the game doesn't end, you don't win. They are exiled and they get a special exile secret objective, which is something completely different. And they're no longer part of the colony, so they're no longer helping you. So it just becomes even more frantic. And you get to know these characters, you come to like them because they're so... they just look great. Like, they just look fully animated. There's so much theme here that then when they die and you have to find new characters, it's like starting all over, and it feels very real, and the entire game has that tension to it. So when he says trust no one, he really means it.
Alright, it's my turn. My turn. Everyone rolls their dice like this. Whoa! Smack! That is so good. Look at those all high dice, right? So we each get 4 actions each when we go, and we roll our die, and it determines what we can kind of do, actually. I have Thomas Hart, and I got Jenny Clark. Thomas Hart is at the home base over here, and Jenny on the block is on the grocery store. And so Thomas is going to join Jenny. So Thomas is going to fly over here, and everyone can only move 1 place at a time. Once I move here, I can't move him out. I can move Jenny because she's my homegirl over here. But now that I moved him here, I have to roll the exposure die. Exposure die. Bam! I am safe. So, it could have landed on this, which would mean I would get a wound right on his face, right there. If it landed on this, it means I'm frostbitten. And then I would get this. And then every single turn, another wound will appear until I get rid of that. So he's fine. He's good. So he's there now. And I have 4 actions. I just took 1 to move. I believe, right? Does that count as a move? I can't remember. Anyways, let's see. It takes 3 to search. So I'm going to search. But with Jenny here, it says when you're with Jenny, you can look at 3 additional cards. So I'm going to take 3. 1, 2, 3. I already get 1, so it's 3 on top of that. I can look at 3, but I only take 1, I believe. Oh, look at that. I'm not going to take this, but I'm going to show you what it is. 2 outsiders, it means we add 2, other people to our home base over here that we have to feed. And right now we have 2 food plus this broken can over here, which means last turn we failed to feed somebody. So that means every single round we get lower morale. And if it goes all the way down, we all freaking die. So we need more food, and we're adding 2 more people here, and they're not here, so I'm gonna put this card here for now. And I'm gonna take some medicine no, I'll take some food because we're gonna need that. Bam. Oh wait, I just took that. Well, I was just giving you an example of what that was. Anyways, so right now we have 4 zombies here. If we stayed here, they would add 3 more zombies at the end of the turn. The zombies are reflecting how many people are in a location, so we probably don't want to stay there. Or we could kill a zombie. And in this case, Thomas Hart, he can attack for 1. So I have a die that's 5, so I'm going to bring it over here to my action. And I'm going to shoot one of these zombies, and so they're dead. They die. Yeah. And I have this one more action, and maybe I'll have Jenny... Oh, she could shoot. She could kill someone, too. So, I'm going to have Jenny kill another zombie. Am I supposed to roll a exposure die for that? Yes. So, every time you attack somebody, you have to roll exposure die. Okay, so Thomas Hart was safe. Okay, I'm doing this out of order, but now I'm rolling for Jenny, too. Jenny has got a wound. She got smacked in the face because she didn't know what she was doing, and she tried to attack the zombie, and she got hurt. So she got 1 wound, and now all my actions have been taken. It's your turn.
Now, being that it's my turn, I'm going to inform the player to my left to take a crossroads card, which is a pretty integral part of the game. Look, this game has got so many rules and so many little things going on, but the most important thing you need to know is that everything that happens in this game revolves around theme. Theme is so important in this game, from the fact that if you continue searching in an area, you make noise, which can attract more zombies, to the fact that you can build barricades, to the fact that every time you move, every time you fight a zombie, you're rolling for exposure, and you can get wounded, but if you get a tooth, you're dead. Your character's just automatically dead, and then it spreads to everyone near you. So everyone is constantly watching each roll, especially if their characters are in the same place. Everything about this game is story. When you start the game, you're going to pick a main objective, and then after you pick your main objective, you're going to go into the book, and it's going to tell you context story. It's going to tell you, all of our hard work has been rewarded us more than we could have hoped. Yesterday this was a refuge camp, and today it's an honest-to-God town. There are stories here, and every time you're telling one. From the fact that someone's betraying you, to the fact that these crossroad cards cause things to randomly happen in the game. Maybe if I move my character here, the person who's reading the crossroads cards has to pipe up and say, oh, you just found something at the gas station, and it could make or break you. There are things that involve players, and I won't ruin those because the spoiler of it is just too much. You have to experience it yourself, but there are literally things that if the player themselves does, the crossroads card happens. The thing about the crossroads cards is that they make everything random. They make every game different. No matter whether you've played the same scenario 18 times, the crossroads cards will still be different. And where you might have done great last time, you could be ruined because a crossroad card causes a bunch of zombies to appear, or maybe it causes a bunch of noise to happen in one place where you were already being overrun and suddenly everyone's dead and the morale just starts dropping. You only have so many rounds to complete the crisis. You're trying to fill food. See what I'm saying? Everything here revolves around story. And even though there are characters like a dog who can participate, or a crazy Santa Claus, even those sort of tongue-in-cheek make sense. The dog used to be a stunt dog, and the Santa is a jerk, but if that player chooses to kill him, you can raise morale. There's so many little intricacies here that it's hard to explain the whole game because there's just so much here. But the best part about it is that all of it works because the theme is so good and so tight and so woven around everything. And that's why Crazy Santa and Superhero Dog makes sense in this game, because everything makes sense, and that's why it's good. By now you can probably tell that we like this game. If I had any complaint at all, it would be that with 2, 3, 4 players, it's perfect. It plays wonderfully. But when you add a 5th player in, the time between each of your turns starts to really become apparent. You suddenly realize, wow, I'm not interacting with other players that much, and it takes a really long time before I get a chance to do anything, because as the game progresses, everybody takes so long to make decisions, and not only are they taking time to make decisions, but everybody's fighting over what they should do. Don't move there, you'll die. Don't go over there, you're gonna make us need more food. And so it gets more chaotic, but with 5 players, it just takes a long time between turns.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about what I don't like. I have a lot more that I do like than I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't much I can say that I don't like.
Well, fangirl a little bit. What do you like?
Well, fangirl.
Fangirl.
Well, I like a lot of it. I love this whole secret objective part of the game, where every single player has their own secret objective that they're trying to complete to individually win, versus playing against the game, which everyone's trying to complete as well.
Yeah.
And this whole aspect of an exiled character, we haven't actually played a game where we had to exile somebody because we haven't played enough with another player where someone became a betrayer yet, and that would be really fascinating. And I'm really, 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 really excited for potential expansions on what they could add. There could be new locations, new objects, new characters. They can add new characters all the time. So that's really exciting with the crossroad cards. Everybody loves the crossroad cards.
Yeah.
I'm sure people
by far the best part of the game.
Yeah, people are going to be emulating that type of mechanic, I'm sure, all over the place. I mean, there might be some other games that have that similar mechanic, but if anything, it's definitely going to be more of that in the future, I'm sure.
You know what we need in an expansion? We need more zombies. I love how the book says if you need, because they're little zombie tokens that the game comes with, they say if in the rare case that you run out of zombie statues, feel free to use the tokens. We have run out of zombie statues every single game we have played, so that is not a rare case. We could use more of these.
Oh, I got something that I can gripe about.
Yep.
If I really want to gripe about
Please gripe.
Some of these game pieces here, like these boards, they're really kind of
a little
flimsy-ish, and if you're not careful, they could warp, and then it doesn't stay on the table very well, and it'll actually like slide all over the place. And granted, we have material on this table, but if it were just a flat, blank ass table, they would kind of like start spinning all around, and they need to be a little bit, stockier, I guess.
But you know what I will say that I love, in that to your point about this. I love that a big majority of the board are actually like little smaller pieces, so you can kind of arrange the board however you need it to be. It takes up a lot of space, but it can kind of fit any table. Like if you have a circular table, you can make it work. If you have a kind of smaller table, you can kind of like put them all around so that everybody can see them. This idea is kind of cool that you have a board, but you can actually kind of manipulate the board to look however you want to fit your table. I think that's kind of cool.
I like how in locations they actually list out the type of things that you could find there potentially. So if you're looking for something specific, you're going to want to go to these specific locations, and then depending on what kind of plot there is or what kind of crisis there is, you might have to like completely buy everything in this deck, or which is kind of crazy, or that you have a crisis and that everyone has contributed to it, but everybody puts their contribution face down, so you don't know what they put down, and then you mix it up, and then when you check at the end, you find out whether or not the crisis has been resolved or not, and then if there's somebody who is a betrayer, put something that's not supposed to be in there, then you're going to know, oh, great, we got a betrayer in our midst.
Well, and what's also cool about that is that each card tells you where it's from. So like this card, for example, says it's from the gas station. So if you are the betrayer, you have to be a little bit more clever than, I'm just going to put whatever I have into the deck, because you can't get away with it. You have to make sure that you have to kind of cover your tracks a little bit, because if you're the only one that went to the gas station so far in the game and somebody pulls out a card that's messing up everything and it's from the gas station, you're going to get caught. So you have to be a little bit more clever about it. And I think that makes being the betrayer that much more interesting.
And they've got so many characters. I mean, how many characters are there? Like at least 25 or something?
At least,
and each one of them, you could kind of imagine their personalities by the way they look, and you could be judgmental about them just by the way they look, and they each have different abilities that work on different levels, and you get to control more than one character. You could recruit other characters, and they become your, what do they call them, followers, and so that's kind of neat too, that you could end up being more than one character at a time. Yeah,
it is. It does work really well that you have kind of like it's not like you're playing one character, you're playing a group that's trying to survive, and so your group is betraying all the other groups. I think that's a really cool concept too. Yeah.
And I love that whole, I really like survival games, and it's another one of those aspects of there's like a timer, this timer on it where you're gonna die really soon.
If you run out of rounds, it's over.
Resolve this,
Yeah, I also really like, this is such a weird thing, but there's this thing that happens in the game where everybody realizes you almost have enough resources to win, and then they kind of just say screw it to everything, right? Well, we're going to win this round, so who cares if we have food? Who cares if the zombies are overrunning anything, because the game's going to be over. And I think that part of the game is really funny for me, the part where everybody kind of just decides, we're about to win, who cares if everyone dies? And that's usually when something horrible happens, and then you start caring again.
I mean, the funny thing is that, you know, you could set it up so that you'll end up winning at the end of that round, but if the game continued from there, everyone would be dead.
Everybody be dead.
Like, that's kind of interesting that you would win then, but then you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Right afterwards.
But yeah.
It's fun. It's cool.
So listen, would we recommend you buy this, play this, or pass on it?
I would have already bought it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's already been bought.
It's already been bought. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful game.
Yeah, I love it.
It has so many levels. It has so much theme and story, and yeah, we love it.
But I gotta say that there are some people who don't like it as much, and the reason for that is probably because there are so many elements to it. Yeah. To them, there's too many things to remember, to do, or something like that. It's a hefty
rule book.
You know, when you get by that, you're gonna love the game. I mean, I guess unless you just really don't like that type of game, maybe you won't. But I would still give it a try.
And I will also offer that there are really good videos online on how to play this game, and they even are talked about in the rulebook. So I suggest, read the rulebook, but also watch one of those videos because they make the process of learning all the pieces of this game much easier because it is a lot. But yeah. Buy it. We love it. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, where I'm at Cooking Like a Cat. This is at carlkaholi. I don't know what we're going to be reviewing next week, but I'm sure it's going to be something amazing. Maybe it'll be something spacey or watery.
Did you see all those other games we got now? We got like
games.
23 or 25 games now.
I have a problem. I keep buying games. I buy games the way most people buy drugs.
We got Arabian Nights, we got Kemet, we got Five Tribes.
Oh my god,
those are all
Five Tribes.
Games.
Oh my god,
Desert Survive, Escape Atlantis.
Escape from Atlantis with all those whales.
And we got more Cosmic Encounter.
We love Cosmic Encounter. Spoiler alert, we love Cosmic Encounter. But listen, we will see you guys next week. Make sure to check out our blogs. I'll put those in the right there, and they'll magically appear, and you'll love them. But yeah, we'll see you next week. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. I'm a zombie. Oh, Santa's dead. Oh, Santa's dead. That's really kind of sad. What does it mean if I get a tooth? Wow. You can see like land.
Well, maybe we'll cut it before it completely ends.